Hello everyone, this is Faisy and welcome to Faisy's Corner.
Starting now, I'm gonna trust when I have doubts. Don't have to have it figured out. Father, 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 maybe that's what faith's about.
Hello and welcome to Faisy's Corner. I am Faisy. We are going to be talking today about self-esteem. I would like to start by, tapping into the intellectual sphere. That sounds smart. In psychology, self-esteem is described as a person's overall sense of self-worth and a person's value. So what you sense or perceive yourself to be worth, or what you think your value is. Let's talk about it, okay? The perception you've gotten from the people you're around has influenced your sense of self. And do you feel less than yourself, or do you feel less than you used to feel? Do you feel less than everyone else around you? Do you feel incompetent? Do you feel like you're not good enough? So let's start with it. Let's just say you're in a toxic relationship. Let's start there. And you're in a relationship with a person who makes you feel like you are lower than the rock at the bottom of the sea. Let's say that. Okay? Or you work for a verbally abusive boss, or whatever situation you're in. Let's talk about how you feel about that. Let's start with a few questions, okay? So we're gonna do this. You and me, we're gonna do this. We're gonna have this little chit chat, okay? So let's talk a little bit about it. Do you feel bad because they speak ill of you? Or do you feel bad because you believe what they're saying about you? Now, these are two questions that you must ask yourself. Because if you feel bad because they are speaking ill of you, could it be that in actual sense, that what you really feel is that for some reason beyond your wildest imagination, that they are actually right about feeling that way about, or what they are saying about you is true? Why does it hurt you? Why does it make you feel bad to be spoken ill of? Let's talk about that particular thing. So let's say you're too fat, let's just say, or you have a disease or an illness, and that makes you feel less than everyone else because someone commented or said something about the way you look? Or could it be that because of the information you absorb, from the internet, you have placed that in juxtaposition to what you look like? You've placed that side by side, placed yourself with that. I'm trying to get the right words, okay? You've placed yourself next to that thing that you think is the ideal beauty type, the ideal definition of success, the ideal body type, the ideal look, the ideal, I don't know what it is. What do you consider ideal? And I think the definition says it all, because it's your overall sense of self-worth. That's what self-esteem is. Your sense, not other people's sense of who you are, but your sense of who you are. So I feel it is my opinion that your feelings can change today. And how do I know this? I know this because I've been you. And for the longest of times, I've beat myself down because I felt yeah, crickets. I felt I wasn't good enough. I felt I needed to do a little more to be something. I felt I needed to um, be a little more something to be appreciated. But the truth is, it was my feeling. I used the word I felt, just like you feel today, that you need to do something to meet a standard of beauty, or and there's nothing wrong with trying to improve yourself, don't get me wrong. There's a fine line between trying to improve yourself and being self-destructive, okay? Because as you think in your mind, so are you. I think your self-worth shouldn't come from people's opinion of you. And in the course of this series, I will take time out to, break it down and go into different facets of life where we can have reasons to, feel less of ourselves as a result of a toxic relationship, or a loss of an opportunity, or the absence of that. We as people need to redefine our sense of worth. We need to redefine what our sense of worth is. What do we see ourselves as? And I strongly feel that once we can redefine who we are, once we find who we truly are, then and only then can we be better. And then and only then can we be free of this entrapment by the social media, or by friends, or by public opinion of who we are perceived to be. And I am of the strong opinion that your self-definition should come from the one who created you, who made you. And I believe it is God. And so, if God made you beautiful, when did you stop realizing that you are beautiful? And if God made you successful, when did you stop realizing that you are successful, and that you are good enough, and that you matter, and that you do not have to take your life, and that you do not have to go through so much heartache and brokenness and betrayal, and you do not have to go through this? What if I told you that regardless of what you feel, you can, and you can indeed come out on top? What if I told you that you can change your perception right now? You see, the thing about it is, it's simply stated in the definition. It is your overall sense. Your overall sense. Self-esteem is your overall sense. You see, it's yours. Your overall sense, your perception, your overall perception of the self-value, your self-worth. So what if you could change your perception, your overall thoughts on who you are? and what you stand for and who defines you. You see, the problem with this idea that, make no mistakes, I'm not saying that you define yourself. Make no mistake. I don't approve of that. You see, the reason that ideology is flawed is because for how long have you been trying to define yourself? You still need standards to define what you see yourself as. And believe it or not, we are all made up of the information that we've received our entire lives on this planet Earth. And so, to define yourself is pretty much defining your idea of the information you have gotten over time about yourself. So if I told a person who was born into a toxic environment to define themselves, they would define themselves based on the standard of their environment, and that is the truth. So let's say I hypothetically singled you out, yes, you, and asked you to define yourself. Can you sincerely say that you're defining yourself without even thinking about where you are and what you're doing? Let me help you out. What are you? What have you accomplished? What have you accomplished? What have you done? How much? What do you have? Do you have money in the bank? Do you not have? Do you have beauty? Where are you? Are you trying to tell me that by me asking you to define yourself, yes, you yourself, you're not defining yourself by the standards that I just set out? Because that's what you're doing. You're gonna say, I am beautiful, I'm strong, I am this. And seconds after you do that, you will go back to where you are right now. But you see, you do not have to define yourself by today only. You do not have to, because there is more for you. You can be all that you were created to be. You were created by God, and it is the Creator who can define you as you. And He defines you as beautiful, because He said it in the beginning. After He created all things, He said it was good. So how do you see yourself any less than what God created you to be? Why do you consider hurting yourself because someone else does not appreciate that very thing about you? Listen, your sense of self is what I want to talk about today. Believe me, you are worth it. You are worth it. You are beautiful. You are amazing. You do not have to end it this way. You do not have to end it. I don't even know who's watching this, but I feel like I need to tell you that you are worth it. And you don't have to be anything other than yourself. Now, don't get me wrong, there is nothing, like I said earlier, wrong with improving on oneself. But at what cost? You are better than you think. I wouldn't want to go into the genesis of how you were conceived. But believe me, you are worth much more than you could ever imagine. You are worth much more than what people say you are, than your mistakes, than your past, than your errors, than your accidents. As long as you are breathing and there is life, you matter. And so your sense of self-worth should come from the one who made you. And the one who created you says that you are loved and that you are beautiful and that you matter. I just wanted to spend this time to talk to you and make you realize that you are better than you think you are. Don't go hanging yourself. Don't go poisoning yourself. Not by drugs, not by alcohol. Don't do it. There is more out there for you. Take a deep breath. Think about what you're doing, because the very breath you take is a luxury for some out there. You don't need me to tell you about the COVID-19 pandemic going on right now that affects the respiratory system and how hospitals are going day in and out, through patients are going in and out the doors of the emergency units of different hospitals, and ventilators are being used just so they could do the very same act that you're doing so freely. If you can do that, then you matter. And let your self-esteem today grow to the max. Let it grow to the level that it was created to be, because you matter. And that is all I have to say for today. With this little opportunity that I have, I just want you to know that you are loved by God and you matter. So I will see you next time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'm looking forward to spending time with you, and of course, chatting with you in the comment section. So, from me to you, from Faze's Corner.
I wish that I could find a way to answer every question. I wish that I could see the world without interpretation. All I know is I don't know, and maybe that's the best place I can start.